This is the Manchester Football Social Legend Review.
This is the XS Manchester Football Social. The Legends Review, and our legends are Gary Owen and Mickey Thomas. We're talking about the weekend's action and looking forward to the games this Tuesday as well in the Carabao Cup, or the Football League Cup, as normal people will probably choose to call it. We're going to
EFL Cup.
EFL Cup, yeah, we'll go with that. Carabao. We don't know what it's all about. Carabao.
Yeah, it's a drink. It's a drink. Energy drink.
Is that how you say it? Is it Carabao?
The Carabao, yeah.
Is that right? Okay, well anyway, we'll move on from energy drinks and talk about football instead. Because we're going to talk about Manchester United's title chances. Some people saying that already, it being the 24th of September, those chances are already over. Sure, they're only, 6 points off City, 8 points off Liverpool so far in this league.
3 games.
But can they catch it, Mickey? Surely it's a long way to go.
You can't write anyone off. I mean, if I said it now, I'll be a failure. So I'm going to say no. We still got a chance. Why not? City might have a really disastrous run. Liverpool hopefully will.
We've had that disastrous run.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, Liverpool look very powerful. There's no question at all. Yeah, they are looking a good side, but you have to try and get on a run of results and blow teams away. Is that going to happen? We'll have to wait and see.
Am I being a bit harsh here when I say Liverpool have played Brighton, Southampton?
I didn't know that.
West Ham in the league so far.
They've not been truly tested.
Well,
I think we can agree on that.
City's not been really tested, do they? Because we've had a good run, so I would.
This guy carry and give me confidence.
Yeah, but I would agree with that as well. I don't think we've been.
But from United's point of view, wouldn't you say, when you look at United's opposition so far, you've had Tottenham, which is probably the biggest test they've faced.
Beaten them. Oh no, they got beaten.
They got beat by Tottenham. Who else of any pedigree? Who else have
If
you
you're going to win the league, you can't lose more than 5. Maximum.
And how many have you lost so far this season? 2, 3, and a few draws in there as well. Let's go straight to the phones. We've got John on line 1. Evening, John.
How are we doing, chaps? All right?
Yeah, John.
Very well, my friend. What do you reckon? United, can you still win it?
Well, of course you can. I mean, it's going to be a monumental task now. Not only have United got to step up from the performances they're doing now, but you've obviously got to hope that Liverpool, Chelsea, City start dropping points, but there's a long way to go. Obviously, when the games start coming thick and fast like they do now, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday, etc. Obviously, it changes dynamic a little bit now, but it's not ideal to be dropping points like United have early on in this season. That's for dead cert.
Obviously, numerically, it is still possible. I mean, it's a long way off being numerically impossible, but you're relying on not only United's form changing and starting to beat the teams that they should be beating and doing well against the teams that maybe they shouldn't be doing so well against, but you're relying on City to slip up, Liverpool to slip up, Arsenal to slip up, Chelsea to slip up, and is that realistic at this stage?
It's a tall order, that's for sure. I mean, my concern at the moment is that United are not playing with any sort of identity to their play, and after 2 years of Mourinho being at the club, we're still no better off attacking wise as what we were when he come 2 years ago. I mean, a second place finish last season, flattered to deceive, I think, but you needed binoculars to see Man City in front of us. But I was at the game on Saturday, and for all the huffing and puffing we did, we're not the attacking force that City and Liverpool are. They play with such fluidity when they go forward, and with us, it just seems like it's always forced, and it can be quite.
No, I didn't see any real fluency in the game on Saturday. I was at the game, of course. I didn't see really enough in that game, but maybe the opposition not giving the credit enough. But with a team like that control traffic, we should beat them.
Wolves will certainly take a lot of points off of a lot of the top
teams
this season.
Very good.
I mean, you could tell that the way that they played last season, they've literally just rolled it into this season and played exactly the same way. And again, it does concern me, the fact that if we play one of the top 4, we'll more than likely get a result, a draw, or we'll nick a win. But as soon as we play a team who you would say we should be beating, and they park the bus, we just huff and puff, and it's been the same scenario for a couple of years. But you just pray that we click in and go in for a 10 10 winning games on the bounce, but you just got to rope that comes.
I think we're going to do that, though. I think we have to have more tempo, don't we? More tempo to our game, more quickness in our game. Than,
I think the wide right position is still the main problem, because we've got Lingard playing there, but he likes to float inside and go wandering, and that just leaves Valencia. And for someone who used to play a winger, he's the only player I've ever seen who can't take a player on. So it's quite frustrating that he as soon as he's faced up by a fullback, he cuts back and goes all the way back, and we start again. But by then they've got 10 men behind the ball, and you're playing chess again. But it is frustrating. But obviously, we're a week away from October. We've got 32 games left, so there's nothing to say that Liverpool won't lose 2 or 3 on the bounce, or City even. But at the moment, you can't see it, obviously.
I can't see. Listen, honestly, I can't see Liverpool or City losing 2 or 3 on the bounce. I can see, of course, you can see them losing. Like I said, if you lose, I think in the Premier League, the way it is now, and it's getting closer and closer, so anybody can beat anybody, especially in that top 6. I think if you lose 4 or 5, then you're not going to win it.
No, there is that. I mean, we're obviously miscounting Chelsea as well.
Oh, sorry, and Chelsea as well, of course.
We're having a good run until their draw yesterday, but it could turn really quickly. But it just, for the other teams to drop points and for United to click, is going to be a big ask. But
I don't like depending on anyone else. I like to do it ourselves, and that's
exactly. The only thing that worries me is we're sort of mirroring the start of the Mourinho's first season, when we ended up finishing 6th, whereas we nicked a win here and there, then we drew a couple, then we lost one. We just couldn't get any rhythm, and then before we knew it, it was Christmas and New Year, and we're miles off the top 4, and we're sort of like that at the moment. So I'm hoping that we can get back onto winning ways against West Ham next week and push on from there. But it seems to be 1 step forward and 2 back under the whole of Mourinho's tenure at the moment. So you sort of think we're getting somewhere, and then we get smacked in the face and we're back to square one.
Cheers, John. Thank you very much for coming on. Appreciate that. If you want to get involved, 0345 111 76 25 is the number. He says it's like Mourinho's first season in charge. It's actually not. It's 5 points worse off at this stage than Mourinho's first season in charge. Season number 1 after 6 games, 15 points. Season number 2, 16 points. This season, just 10 points.
United started pretty well last year. We're scoring goals 4 at a time.
But I think, you say whatever, and Gary said it a couple of times in the show so far this evening, is that, for me, the squad is a good squad. And I don't care, you can blame the manager, but when you get 11 players in that pitch, surely they have to take responsibility. Surely they have to, do things that is probably not accustomed to some of them. Just go out and win the game. Just change the game. If it's not going well, change it. You have to take responsibility.
Yeah, you do. That's what they say.
I'm not just saying when you get like Wolves was a very difficult game. I thought before we scored our goal that they were certainly unlucky not to be ahead of us. They had, a couple of good opportunities, So yeah. We want it to be right. At this moment in time, it's difficult, but you've got to hope that it comes right in the end.
Let's speak to Ant. He's on the line. Evening, Ant.
Good evening. You're all saying, is it too soon to say that United's chances of winning the league are over? I would say it's too late, like about 12 months too late, because the signs were there. So we had that great run at the start of last season, and then we started to see the cracks. And the thing is, everyone's going, it's Jose, it's this, it's this. I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem at the minute is that it's almost like everybody's pulling in a different direction. Everybody, like the fans want this attacking football, which goes against what Jose's style of doing things is. We know that Jose will go out and he has this track record and he will win stuff. And we've seen that time and time again. It comes down to he'll win those games. And then you've got these players in, and you look at that squad on paper. It's like kind of, if you give me all the coins I can have on FIFA, that's probably most of that team I would have. It's a great combination of players there. With number 1 goalkeeper for me, Lukaku, what a force he is, and Pogba. But something's not happening. Something's not fitting right. And I think it's because they're all pulling in different directions. You compare that to City, and it's almost like everybody believes in what City are doing, the direction that they're going, and what they want, and the fans are along from the right. Now, of course, that's easier when you're winning stuff. But I think for United, I think the problem is almost a cultural problem. I think they've got this weight of the past on them, and and obviously it's great to see Sir Alex back and doing so well. Back at the Wolves game on Saturday, it's so nice to see him there. And actually, because you worry what state he would have been in after what he went through, but he looks very well and may have many more years. But that brings pressure with it. That brings an enormous amount of pressure. And then there's financial pressures with the board, all the sponsors, all these different things that are coming in. And I just think that United are just a bit lost at the minute. They just don't know which way they're going.
Ant's making an interesting point there about the style of football. And it's something we've come back to again and again, and the culture as well. And that was highlighted for me in Paul Pogba's comments post-match, where he says... I've got the quote here, let me find it for you. He says, "We're at home, we should play much better against Wolves, we're here to attack. When we play like that, it's easier for us." So Paul Pogba's saying they should play more attacking football. The fans are saying they should play more attacking football. It seems that Jose doesn't say that. So it's very difficult, isn't it? You shouldn't have a player speaking out about the manager's tactics and going against it, and that's a cultural problem in that club.
Well, I say to the core as well, and I say it again to Gio, when you're on that pitch, you have to take responsibility. You have to put in a shift. You have to do it yourself. Whether it's not going right, you've got to change it. If you don't, if it's not going to change it, it's not going to do anything, is it? You've got to be brave enough.
That's spot on, Mickey. That is spot on, Mickey. You know what it's like to me? It's like the difference between having a small company where everyone's a shareholder, right, and then having a big company where people just turn up to do their wage and they go, it doesn't matter how many things I sell or if I turn up late or if I give bad service, I'm still going to get paid. Because you've got a company where everyone owns like a little bit of value in that, and their bonus is going to be affected by how well the company does. There's that, and it just seems that they're not all connected, they're not all in it together. And you get the feeling that it's not just Jose is throwing the players under the bus. Pogba's saying things which are very thinly veiled against Jose, and then everyone's panicking because they don't know who to blame. And let's remember, actually, all right, by United standards, it's not been great for a few years, but they're doing all right. There's clubs in far worse positions. So you look at
No. They're not doing all right for Manchester United. That is the issue. It all comes down to the fact that they're not doing all right for Manchester United. Manchester United are a club with incredibly high standards. The fans expect them to be first or second every single season, and that's not happening at the moment. And that's where it's coming from.
You ask the fans right now, and what they would rather see, they'd rather see them finishing third and fourth and going out for it and playing like they used to, rather than finishing third and fourth and just not being boring.
The only thing I can say about that is that you're saying what United fans would like, but that's in an era that will be repeated, certainly, because everything's changed. United now, as City have and Liverpool, have 6-7 teams who all feel they can win that Premiership. Whether we agree that or not is a different thing, but it's changed. Alex Ferguson's gone, different managers have come in, all with their own ideas how to do it. It's not as easy now to play the type of football the United fans have been used to. I mean, we're lucky it is working at City, because he did it at Barcelona, he's done it at Bayern Munich, and now he's doing it at Man City.
So does that come down to managerial appointments then, Gio? Is it they haven't got the right man in there?
It's it's a few things. A, the right managerial appointment. 2, you have the owners wealthy enough to be able to back that manager to bring in the players he wants. Because Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, whoever you want to say, in the biggest teams, cannot put their way of playing football unless they've got the players to be able to do it. And the better players you have to do what they want to play, the more success you will have. But that all comes with being able to buy the players you need.
Do you think, and I'm going to direct this question to you, Gio, because I think Mickey won't give me a straight answer on this one. It's from Warfy, who's texted in, and he says, "It's done, we'll be lucky to get top 6 now. We've not played anyone of note yet. We're miles behind City, we're miles behind Liverpool. We need a director of football and a proper transfer strategy. We've got the money, we're just wasting it." For you, Gio, looking at that Is it a problem with the way the club is currently set up? There isn't.
Listen, I can't tell you how the club's set up. From the outside, it looks set up really well. They earn the money. They've got, they're not frightened of spending it. They've shown that with Lukaku, and they've shown that with Pogba. It's not a case of that. I think you need the right person to be able to spend it for you. But it's no case of just going out. It's no good going into a shop and just getting a handful of anything you want. You've got to pick the stuff that you like. and picking the stuff and being able to get it, no matter how much money you've got in your pockets, might not always be the easiest thing to do. And I think that's what's frustrating Mourinho. But would Mourinho ever play the type of football that Pep Guardiola does, that Sir Alex Ferguson does, that Klopp's playing? That's the answer. That's the question you've got to ask. To me, I don't think he'll ever play that sort of football. But then, I'll contradict myself, because when he was at Chelsea one time, he scored 105 goals. So, was it the players that made him work that way, or was it Mourinho that made the players play that way? I don't know.
Well, I look forward to having this conversation again after next weekend's games, no doubt. But let's look forward to tomorrow night's games. This is the Manchester Football Social Legend Review, but we're going to do a Legend Preview with Mickey Thomas and Gary Owen. They're in the studio taking your calls, and we're going to talk about the games this Tuesday night. The English Football League Cup, the Carabao Cup, the Milk Cup, the Carling Cup, whatever you want to call it. City and United are in action against Derby County and Oxford United, respectively. So we're going to talk about those games briefly, work out what to expect, and we're going to speak to members of the opposition to get a little preview on how those teams are going to approach those games. So let's talk about Derby County first. They're City's opposition. It is away.
United's opposition.
United's opposition, sorry, they are. And Derby County will be visiting Old Trafford. I apologise. And we're going to be speaking to Ollie Wright, who is the author of the Derby County blog. Evening, Ollie.
Hi, you right?
Very well, my friend. Thank you for coming on and having a chat to us. How are Derby going to approach this one? We were just talking in the break there that Derby are having a decent league season. You're 6th at the moment. You're keeping pace. You've got Frank Lampard in charge there. So is the league going to be the priority, or are you going to come all guns blazing at Old Trafford?
Well, I think because the league is the priority, that almost gives us a bit of a licence to go all guns blazing. Because to us, this is an exciting game. It's a fun game, really. Whereas maybe for United, there's a little bit more pressure because there seems to be a bit more doom and gloom going around. And obviously defeat to Derby, who are let's face it, a smaller club, and the sort of team that United are expected to sort of blow away. Really, that would be a seismic result, wouldn't it? And it would sort of increase the pressure on Mourinho. Whereas for us, I think it's a game we can approach with freedom and hopefully enjoy it. I mean, obviously, the threat against a club with United's budgets is always that you can get pummeled, and nobody wants to see that, and that's never good for morale. So I think there's a tightrope to walk. But I think Frank Lampard, the way he approaches the game is quite front foot, quite attacking, and I don't think it's in him to just sort of sit back and try and defend for 90 minutes and hope you can nick one. That's not really the style of play that he likes. It's not really the squad that he's got either. He's not really got the kind of players who could sort of play that way. So we're gonna. I think we'll try and play. We'll try our best to play some football. Respecting obviously United's quality, but I can see us having a bit of a go and seeing where that takes us.
Obviously, Frank Lampard, with his City connection, he's going to want to get a win at Old Trafford. Mickey, do you worry about Derby County? Is that the kind of draw that you think could present an upset? Mickey Thomas?
No, I'm just looking
just crying. There's like a little weep in the corner.
Yeah, I think Derby, for me, I think the call is quite right as well. I think they come in and play a very open game. I think, their priority is promotion. I think Lampard is a good manager for them. It has been a decent start. I think he'd like it a little bit better. But I think it's just a little bit of distraction from your main target, and that is promotion to the Premiership. You think that's right, what I said?
I think he's gone into a little bit.
Yeah. I just said, I'll say it again just in case you didn't hear that.
Yep.
The priority is the Premier League next season. I think this will be a nice little distraction for you. It will be no disappointment if you get beat. I think your focus is on the Premier League next season.
Absolutely, 100%. And I think, we actually, you'll remember we drew United last season in the FA Cup, and it was a really exciting game.
Did well, yeah.
And Lingard scored very late on, which ended up kind of breaking the tie, and in the end United won. But we really enjoyed it, but it wasn't at the time such a bad, I don't think anybody really wanted a replay at the time, And it, obviously in the League Cup there's no issue with replays and stuff. It's 90 minutes and then it's a shootout, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, for us it's, Frank Lampard's I think he's quite a proud guy. I don't think, like I sort of said before, I don't think he's the kind of manager who's just going to sort of, try and play the sort of underdog card and just sit in and block everything off. I think it's there's a few players as well who will probably really fancy the opportunity. I mean, we bought over the summer. We bought a guy called Jack Marriott, who was the top scorer in League One last season for Peterborough United, and he's not really had a big chance yet up front. So he may well come in for this game and get his shot. But any of the young players, I mean, we've got quite a few good young forwards, and I'm sure they'll all be really itching to play. You might have seen Mason Mount, the young guy we've got on loan from Chelsea, who's even been attracting Gareth Southgate's attention. He came to our game against Blackburn in the week, specifically to watch Mason Mount, who's only 19, but he's played nearly every minute of every game, certainly started every game. And has been really, really good. He kind of plays as a number 10, an attacking midfielder. And I'd be very surprised if he was rested. I think he'll just play. And a lot of the young players, like Fikayo Tomori, who plays centre-back, is again a loanee from Chelsea, who's a really talented young player with lots of pace. And I think there's a couple of young lads who've come from our academy who've kind of made their way into the squad this season as well. So there's plenty of youth in there and plenty of endeavour like that and energy. So I think the young lads who are in the squad will just be buzzing for this game, and I'm sure Lampard will have them really ready for it, and I'm looking forward to it.
Ollie, top man, thank you very much for coming on. It's the kind of game that could smell like an upset to me.
No way, ho.
You don't think?
Derby going to be missing the two centre-backs. George Evans is one of them, who they bought, Derby. He used to be at City. He was a midfield player, actually. They moved him into centre-back. He's now at Derby. They're going to be missing those two players. Frank Lampard will not want to go there and get bashed up. But United will have a strongest team out, no two ways about it. It's not like the Ferguson time where he'd put all the kids in. No way. Mourinho wants to get results, and he will do it. He will be looking to go as far as he can in this Carabao Cup. He's done it before, and they will bash Derby tomorrow.
Let's move on very quickly. We've just got time to preview City's game as well. Oxford United versus City. Doesn't smell like it's going to be an upset, this one, but maybe Mitch, who is the man behind the Yellow Army Twitter account, an Oxford United supporters account, will have a different view. Mitch, can you see Oxford doing a job on City?
Without being totally pessimistic, absolutely no chance.
That does sound pessimistic to me, but factual.
Yeah, I think the problem is, we've got 5 points from 9 games. On the pitch, it's been terrible since day one, to be brutally honest. There's very few fans behind the current manager.
I think we've lost Mitch. I think we got the gist of what he was saying.
Yeah, but Oxford are missing 2 players as well. Jamie Mack, an experienced player.
No, he's going to fix the scoreboard for someone like that.
He got the cricket scoreboard in. No, I think he'll play a lot of the fringe players. I mean, when I say fringe players, your international players will play. But I think Diaz will get a start. Foden will get a start.
I was going to say, do you think Foden will play?
Yeah, I think, and Diaz, I hope so, because they both deserve to be playing. And some of the Mahrez will probably start. So there will definitely be some that played against Cardiff that will be playing there, because they'll all need some game time. Maybe Otamendi again, it's his first game. Well, it's not his first game. Quite strange, Otamendi was probably our best defender last year. He's only played twice this year, and in both games, we didn't concede a goal.
Not wanting to disrespect Oxford United in any way whatsoever, but for them as a club, a home fixture against the likes of City is the result there, isn't it? They're not going to go a long way in the competition, so
they'll get a full house.
Is going to be absolutely cracking for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can only get was it 1,100 tickets? I think for there. That's all they would give us. But they will be. It'll be great for them and good. The tickets. Some people probably think it's expensive for this level. 24 quid. I've seen tickets higher than that, so £24. And I'm glad they've come to some sense in the Premier League, where all away games now are 30 quid. I think, that's maximum it should be, and it seems to be working well. But no matter what teams City put out tomorrow, it will be one of the biggest shocks of this League Cup history if Oxford were to beat us, because as the guy just said, out of 9 games they've got 5 points, which shows that they're not the Vaughan team, are they?
God, I know you boys like a prediction every now and again, so let's have some predictions for the League Cup games then. Oxford United versus City, Gary?
5-0.
Mickey?
Derby, we get better tomorrow for United.
No, the City game first.
Oh, City. Listen to this, I'm going to say this now. We'll wind it tomorrow, or Thursday. City will win by 10 goals.
Wow. That is a big claim.
Jim, I think Oxford have had a disaster start. I think they won 1 game or something. Yeah. They haven't done well at all. City, it depends what City do, but I think there'll be more than 5 goals in it for City.
Very, very quickly. Scores only Derby County, 4-0 United. Mickey T?
Derby will beat Derby 4-5.
Good. Nice one. Lots of
David Nash,
for the Football Social. We'll be back tomorrow with Forever Blue. Ian Cheeseman will be here with his City review, and I'm sticking around for a bit to play some tunes. Rolling Stones coming up, and Blur in a minute. This is XS Manchester.
XS Manchester.